Hey man, it seems like a long time. Actually, it's been a long time since I've been live in this office, in this space, because 2 weeks back I was in Durban, came back for a couple of days and went back. I think it's over 2 weeks that I've been coming to you live from my studio office. Quite cold today. Started off at like 8 degrees in the morning. Good afternoon. It's the Midday report. KC. Certified model coming to you live and direct from my residence. Hello, Neely Naidu is first up. Justin Whitehead. Away. Adil, we need to talk, my brother. We're going to go nuts. And give me this week here and I'll finish up all my documents and whatever that I'm doing. That's just sapping my energy. Michael Murray, how are you? And roll up. The Midday report. 30 minutes with me, and we'll find out what's going on in the country, what's going on with me, what's going on with you. What can we talk about? Sada Munsami, Kabir Anup, Mervyn Naidu, who is on night shift, and Kogi Lambal joining us from Cape Town, who's going to be in Durban in a week or so. How's it going with the case, boss? We're going to speak about some matters of the court cases and where I am. I'll keep you guys updated. Many people are very interested, which is great. Madhubani Magan, welcome back, Madhubani. Keshal Sukrat, hey, Kesh, how are you? Mother Monday, indeed. I think a hot cup of coffee. It is quite cold today, and it's going to get colder, and this office of mine is the coldest house in the room. How's it, Dinesh Bagdo? How is laden? Niven Parma, good afternoon, says Niven Parma. Right, good afternoon, and in case it's a bit chilly in the mornings in Josie. Indeed. In fact, it was chilly this morning. Feeling the cold, and I'm going to get my thermal underwear out, my knitted briefs and all of that now, because the boxes are not doing it. Now the boxes are too loose, like there's too much of like room to play around with the breezes and everything to come in there. Right, good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Report. Good afternoon, Jackie, Bishal, Soman. If you're new to the program, say hi. At least we know you're watching. Malcolm Governor says jailbreak. Coldest room in the house. Yep, it is the coldest room in the house. And when my wife comes in here, it gets even more cold. It gets freezing. Morning. Malcolm from the Misfits was back online. Shamin Pillay joins us from Chatswood. I was over there and had a couple of drinks and a meal. Pollard egg brief, you're right. Welcome, get a pollard egg brief. Josie's cuck cold. That's cuck cold. It's a bit cold. I think it's going to get colder, by the way. How's the Kritika? Joining us from PMB, Shani Bagdew. Hope it's Irish coffee. No. Only coffee. OBS. Old Royal Sherry. No. I had, no, senor. I had a lot of drinks over the weekend. I'm just giving myself a break now. Monday recovering, having tea. Says Nike Curse. Indeed, I have tea. Right, did you guys check my TikToks out? I'm just happy with my TikTok videos. I'm fairly new on the TikTok platform, but my shuffle video is my highest grossing video so far. I think I'm sitting at 45,000 views on my shuffle video. So thank you so much for those who watch. Those numbers are big for me. Maybe others got bigger numbers. I don't know. And then I did my video yesterday with my my jam tomatoes videos. Yeah, that one. My Stanger Banger video, my jam tomato videos is currently sitting at 30,000. I think 29,000. So it should be 30,000 views. That's in just under 2 days. It's been a while. Jaden Pollard, yes. Just in case you found Manboard. So 45,000 is my highest grossing video there. 45,000 views. And now my jam tomatoes. Who hasn't seen it? Who's that on my TikTok platform? Come on. Find me there. I think it's at Carol Chara or whatever. I don't even know. TikTok, let's have a bus stop before you go in. Says Malcolm. Yeah, you better have a bus stop before I go in. Otherwise you missed out. Right, let's get to it everywhere. So TikTok videos. Also, I did a phone call to... let's talk about that first. I did a phone call to... the editor, Akash Bramdo. I'm sure he's watching. Akash Bramdo of The Post. How many of you have seen that one? If you're not on my platform, get onto my WhatsApps. Send a WhatsApp to 084-795-1835. I think that's the number. 084-795-1835 or 073-767-5836. If you want to receive my video. So I did a call to Akash from the Post. And of course, you guys know I made the front page of the Post, warrant of arrest. And you guys and I had this conversation about the day before the Post came out that we almost guessed it and we knew it. I knew it's going to be a headline story because they want to fuck me up proper, right? So I knew it's going to be a front page story. Second time in 5 months I hit the front page of the Post. Warrant of arrest. Yeah, Niri says she had the call to Akash was amusing. Yeah, so I made the front page because there was a warrant of arrest. And the next day I was in court and the charge was thrown out by the prosecutor. But the following week, I didn't make the front page. Why is that? Why is it news on one story? Because the news on the follow-up was that it was a frivolous charge, that I was being affected, that somebody was trying to get me arrested. That's a news story. But according to the Post, they have a space issue and whatever. I didn't make the front page. I make it in a certain time, don't make it other time. And then, of course, I raised the issue of course, it came across I'm a public figure. These stories need to be told, front page. I mean, I've had Karo cares for, I will say this now categorically. You can take counselors, you can take whatever, you can take people, and I'm going to blow my own trumpet here. For the last 8 years, the amount of community activism I've done, not many people can come close to me. Rand for rand, cent for cent, meaning the amount of money I have or contacts I have or things I can do. Not somebody who's got millions who owns businesses. I mean, you can't compare me to Vivian Reddy and the likes of those people, right? That's what I mean. Rand for rand, cent for cent, and energy levels of where we are and how much we want to do. And the Post has never featured me. Never. I mean, that's a good news story. I don't want to mention the things I've done. Most of you know the things I've done, but I've never once made the Post for a good news story. Look, stories like that help inspire other people. When someone does good deeds, it inspires other people. But maybe they saw it just as being promotion for me, and who wants to promote Karo Charo? We need to, but when we need to chop his legs, when we need to fuck him up, we'll put him on the front page. Yeah. When he hands out shopping vouchers, when he helps build houses, we don't know about front page. We don't even make it into the fucking newspaper. But when he's arrested, front page, front page. Yeah. So look, Mr. Bramdo and those people must. I had a nice conversation with Mr. Bramdo, by the way. And yeah, but if he wants to do what he wants to do, he's got his own conscience to live with. I can't tell him that. It's these newspaper, as it is my platform, to do what I want to do. But yeah, there we go. That's the. And by the way, I was a big supporter of the Post in terms of advertising a couple of years back. I suppose that counts for nothing. This day and age, it's who pays your salary. And yeah, let me not say too many more. People don't recognize the good things you do. Well, no, don't get me wrong, Kogilamba. A lot of people recognize the good things I do. A lot of people. There are selected people who don't want to recognize. It's not a lot of people. Not people don't. I disagree with your statement, but I know what you're trying to say. Selected people choose selected things and they don't want to do that. Thank you, Dinesh. You were there when my leg was tucked. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The tea sounds... How can the tea sound taste? Not even tea, it's coffee. They only want posts that benefit them. You got these, I've seen these, mother of jealous. Hey, by the way, I sent it out, and a lot of people, how many of you, let's do a quick check, right? How many of you buy the Post or know people that buy the Post? Look, I'm not trying to fuck the Post up, although if that comes in as a sideline, whatever. What I said in the call is true. People I knew I was trying to get a copy of the post. I finally got a copy from Akash. He gave me when I met him. Do you guys buy the post? Justin says, yeah, the martyrs never see the good things. Yeah. Do you guys buy the post or know of people who buy the post? Do you guys know the post? Niri says we buy. Okay, Niri buys the post. There we go. Good for you, Niri. I could have got a copy from you. Anybody else buy the post? Subscribe to the post? Do you subscribe or do you buy, Niri? Do you subscribe or do you buy? Niri buys the post. I don't buy the post. People I know don't buy the post. Mervin says I don't buy. Chantal says, despite everything, you still remain so positive. You inspire me. Oh, thank you, Chantal. No, I don't buy. Niri says, yes, we buy the post. They see you're good and they want to paint you in a bad light. Charmaine says, waste of money. I've had so many people respond to my phone call on WhatsApp saying that their parents even stopped them from buying the post. You know, some bad stories. Niri is a subscriber. Nothing wrong with that, Niri. Stopped, not worth the money, says Leslie. Ramsamy doesn't buy the post. Yeah, well, I don't certainly buy the post. And most people, in fact, there's not one person I know that buys the post beside Niri. Kabir says, when I'm in South Africa, I usually buy it. Nobody else in my family buys it. I do buy it, but I don't read it. Toina says, I do buy it, but I don't read it anymore. Why do you buy it? Do you put it like in the bottom of the bird cage or something? I think Toyota buys it to put it at the bottom of the bird cage. Apparently, it absorbs shit. Dinesh Bagdo, we had front row seats to that leg. Yeah. They're talking about my... Toyota says she subscribes. Marlon says, waste of good money. Members used to only buy the post for lonely hearts. Yeah. Nothing worth reading. No time to read rubbish. Do you all agree with that? I'm not here to just put the post down because they wrote some crap about me. That wouldn't be fair. I'm just asking your... Nidhi says, nothing much to read, Casey. Oh, she subscribed, nothing much to read. I haven't never bought it. Don't need to buy any newspaper, everything on social media. Indeed. Well, I think the Post, like every other newspaper, must be going through a tough time in terms of people not buying the newspaper. Everything's online. We go to news channels. Keith says, nobody really buys the newspaper anymore. Daily news are down 40% on average, a dying platform. Yep, the newspapers in general are a dying platform. Although Akash said to me, that was a statement he made to me, if he's listening, you know, he can't deny it because he said it. He said that when in December, when I went on a tirade about the Post and encouraged people, I don't think did I do that? Encouraged people to stop buying the Post. He said he didn't lose one subscriber. So that's what he said. That's a fact. He said it to me. He said in December, you know, they put that article, racist and dangerous. He said when I came out speaking out against the Post, he said he didn't lose one subscriber. I don't know why he told me that. I didn't ask him that. I didn't want to talk about my article, but he felt the need to tell me that they didn't lose one subscriber. I think he told me that because they must have lost at least one subscriber. That's why he felt the need to tell me that he didn't lose one subscriber. But maybe they did lose one subscriber. At least I know Ricky Naidu and somebody else stopped buying the Post, right? So I don't buy any paper, all the so yeah, it's not about the Post, Jackie, you don't buy any paper. Yeah. Look, I'm trying to be fair with them. I'll be very honest with you. I didn't say this to Akash when I met him, but the headline was stupid, uncalled for. I didn't need to do it. Not in that way anyway. The headline was there to try and fight. It brought no value to anyone. It was sensationalism. In fact, they tried to hurt me and hurt my brand. That's all. So I'll say directly to the Post and to Akash who was listening. I didn't say it to him that day. On the day I went to speak to him, it wasn't about me. It was about cyberbullying. And he can bear me out there. I kept coming back to the fact that I wanted them to run a story or do stories or education on cyberbullying. I didn't go there. By the way, I did meet Akash 2 weeks back. It was not about me going to ask him, why did he put me on the front page? I never asked him that. I never, in that entire conversation, asked him, why did you put me on the front page of the Post? I never asked him that. But yeah, so I went there talking about cyberbullying. Yeah, that was my somebody paying money into my account to talk about cyberbullying, and I want them to be able to, even the medium they reach, I want them, even at the end of this, and if he doesn't get pulled up with me for doing the video about him or whatever, I want them at the end of this, my saga, whatever, not to write a story about me. I want them to write stories about cyberbullying, cyber harassment, using me as an example of how these things happen and how things turn, and how things can go bad, how there's bad policing, how there's bad judiciary, how people manipulate the system and all of that. Yeah, and I know certain people are listening, even my antagonists are listening, even the people dragging me to court are listening, because they're waiting for me to say something. Screenshot it, take it to the people. Say, see this guy, what he's saying. So, you must be tired. I am exhausted, but I am carrying on it day in and day out. I said the whole morning writing letters, I'm writing up to the highest authorities, and I'm telling people who are listening, I know they're listening, I'm writing up to the highest authorities. Yeah. So last week I was in court on the 5th of, so let's catch up quickly for those of you who don't know. Sometimes I assume most of you know because you watch my feeds. But 5th of March. Okay, 6th of March I was in escort court. My harassment order. That's an ongoing issue that needs to be moved to the 26th and then be moved thereafter for opposing affidavits. So that's an ongoing civil matter. There's a criminal matter coming up again. I'll talk to you about that. I'm busy addressing that matter as well. But on the 5th of May, I don't talk about the escort matter now. I'll tell you about it in a few days. It's disturbing, but let's leave it there. I'm speaking to the highest authorities. Or writing to them. If you guys want to join me in the quest, I'm making it very public. It's going to go very public. If you want to join me on emails and whatever and get copied in on emails, then you just have to WhatsApp me on 073-767-5836, 073-767-5836. Agree, they can print that and educate the public. Yup. By the way, I'm going to say this. I think I reach more people than the Post. You'll agree with me. I think I have a bigger platform than the Post. I'm going to come out and say it. You can screenshot it and send it. You can put it out there. I just think I reach more people. I think when I talk, I can have a greater influence. That's my version. Maybe arrogant, conceited. But that's what I think. You must be tired and emotionally drained. Well, I thought you're very right. I am tired and I am emotionally drained. But every day is a new day. You wake up every day and you start and you put one foot in front of the other. And you try to keep moving. Not easy, but you try. So I think I have a bigger following. I think I reach more people. I think if I talk, more people listen. Because social media is the platform, and if you have a platform like mine, it gets shared, other people see it, yada yada yada. The Post as a newspaper is a dying entity. Any newspapers as in general are listening. I think the knock and drops, though, like the tabloids and the Rising Sun and all that, they still have a major role to play for a couple of years, because a lot of people in the townships are dependent on those free publications, not only to pick up the dog shit, but also for reading and getting some information, right? So on the 5th of March, so pay attention to this one, on the 5th of May, I was in the Chatsworth court. I had 9 harassment orders issues. Those were my orders or my matters with people who were on my hate group. So if you didn't know, and I can advise you, first up on the roll was my main antagonist, Shabashni Mudli Patta, and her brother, Trineshan Mudli. They flew from somewhere in the country, Cape Town, whatever, to come there. And of course, they realized it's all just a big mess up to come all the way, spend time in court, whatever. And the attorney who was there came to me and we discussed the matter, and then they asked for some sort of amicable solution. Like they walk away, I walk away. Look, I was prepared to walk away, although I did fuck all, right? I did nothing to them. I did nothing to them. I continued nothing to them. But in the spirit of everything, and that they are my family, and to move forward and to continue. Otherwise, they'll keep coming to court another 3-4 times, and wherever they are in the country, they'll have to come to the court. So we reached a decision where there will be a agreement draft with our attorneys. You stay out of my life, I stay out of your life. That's all I wanted, and that's what we ended up agreeing on, and we walked away. I wish at that point I could have had a chat to them. They were my cousins. I hadn't seen them for more than 30 years. Actually, I saw Trination a couple of years back, maybe 5-8 years back. I never saw Shabashni for more than 30 years. So be that as it may, we have reached an amicable solution. Next up on the roll was Bekani Masuku. Bekani Masuku was very active on the haters group, and Bekani Masuku, I had an interim order against him. Bekani Masuku was very active in attacking my client, Group 1 Renault and Group 1 Nissan, where he managed to threaten them. And actually, I don't think it was him, to be honest. When he was in court, he couldn't even speak English. So here's the other thing as to how, I'm going to say this, how Bekani Masuku was used on that platform. And I knew it at that time, by the way. Bekani Masuku, when he should message me, speak broken English, can't even talk English properly. And in the court, it was clear he couldn't speak English. He needed an interpreter. However, if you go back to his posts and his post to Group 1 Nissan and see his post, which I've got copies on, his English is immaculate. Immaculate. The words, the sentences, sentence construction, brilliant. So, sadly, Bekani Masuku was used. And when I say sadly, he arrived in court. You could see he was out of his depth. He couldn't speak English. He wanted to defend himself. And when the magistrate said to him, do you understand you're going toe-to-toe with an advocate and an attorney? He then decided to change his plea, and he accepted the contempt or the harassment order to be final. So now for a period of 5 years, he can't speak anything about me. And that comes with a warrant of arrest, which I have in my possession, by the way. So I have a warrant of arrest that if I feel that he has threatened me in any way, or said anything about me, or that he comes near me, then I can issue the warrant of arrest. So that went for him. The other guy there was Roshan Benimado. He's been trolling me for 6 to 8 years. So he needs to come back to court on the 2nd of June. And he's opposing it. He needs to get an attorney. So now they realize that they need attorneys, and obviously attorneys cost money, and they have to be in court with an attorney to file opposing affidavits. The other guy there was Emmanuel Velu. Emmanuel Velu was very vociferous on the group. He kept attacking my Caro Cares projects, my NPO number, the money I got. He was very vociferous about me posing with pictures with people and saying that I'm taking advantage of them, belittling them. But in court he was very silent. In fact, first he said he wants to oppose, and then he said no, he wants to sort of talk with me and try to. Then the magistrate said to him, no, you've made a decision to oppose. You need to be in court. He couldn't afford an attorney. He has to go to get legal aid. And I'll see him in court again on the 2nd of June. Now, Emmanuel Velu will also come to realize that all that shit he was talking about me and putting it up there and jumping with his other members really doesn't help him now. It really, in fact, now his life is made miserable because he has to now go and consult with an attorney. He must drive all the way from Verulam or Phoenix to Pinetown to find a legal aid attorney, because he can't do it in his hometown. It has to do where the court is. He has to get an attorney. He has to file opposing affidavits. And if he fails in his opposing affidavits, then he gets a final order as well with a warrant of arrest. In the meantime, he'll appear in court at least 2 or 3 times. That's going to inconvenience him. But when he was running with the pack, it's what it was. No amount of engaging with them to say to stop at some point was working, so they continued. And the other one I want to talk about is, and this one has to do with SAPS Chatsworth, and basically I've raised a concern. And this is a very important matter, by the way. I'll end with this one here. Very important matter to consider or to think about, or for you to understand. So, you guys know that Visvin Reddy was my main antagonist before Park by the Posey. He was making videos about me almost every day, picking on my limp and all of that, calling me a racially polarizing guy, and I'm going to cause problems with black people, all of that. He made numerous videos, which I've got copies of all of them. So, by the way, I got a order against Mishantan Naidu, bully boy. Mishantan Naidu made lots of comments about my mother's old and my wife being lots of things. Mishantan said lots of things, lots of bad things. Some of them I'm glad I didn't hear. Others heard the things that he said. Anyways, Mishantan didn't pitch up at court, so the magistrate granted the final order, which means Mishantan can't utter one word about me for the next 5 years. He's also got a warrant of arrest issued, which I have in my possession. So Mishantan, if you're listening, or anyone's listening, you can screenshot it and say to Mishantan, he's got a warrant of arrest out for him. If he says anything again about me in the future, it runs for 5 years. So the next 5 years, he'll have to watch what he says about me. Then Visvan Reddy, like I said, Visvan Reddy, I took out an interim, or the court granted me an interim protection order against him. So this is what happened in court on that day, which I told some of you. For those of you who didn't listen, here's what happened. Visvan Reddy, when his matter came up, his attorney saw us before that outside the court. Apparently Visvan Reddy came to court, outside the court, and handed his paper to this attorney who was representing others in the clique, and he went to her. He didn't engage her originally, He saw her there attending with other people, which were all in the same group, and he handed over his application, and he said to her that he only received the application, which is my application, for an interim order or for a protection order. When the magistrate granted the court order, the final order or the interim order, it was supposed to be stapled to the protection order or the application that I made. So he said to his attorney, listen, I only got this application, I didn't get the interim protection order, so I don't know when is the court date. So here is Visvan appearing in court on the date he's supposed to appear, saying that he didn't know which date he was supposed to appear because the document that was supposed to be attached is not attached. Indeed, the copy that she had didn't have the order attached, so he didn't know which court date to come, but he was there on that court date. Anyway, he left the court. He was gone. He gave her the thing, he was gone. When the matter appeared before the magistrate agreed that she found out that he was there and left. Then she was a bit annoyed by that. However, she agreed that he didn't get proper service. And further, when you get served something by the police, an order or a court order, there is a receipt or return of service. So when you sign the return of service, it means you have received the documents. So the magistrate had the return of service in her hands, saying that he received the documents. However, that document was also found to be defective, because the magistrate was scrutinizing it, found it to be defective because it didn't have what was served. For example, it didn't say serve the interim order. It was blank there. So, taking into account he didn't have the full document apparently, and that the return of service was not there or not filled properly, the magistrate then ruled in his favor in that sense, and she said, well, he didn't need to be here. We're going to set a new court date for him to be here. In the interim, she was uplifting the protection order. So she uplifted the protection order. Although Visvan really defied the court, he was there through the document, knew the date, walked away. She uplifted the protection order. Right. So what's the danger? So obviously, the policeman who went out and served these documents, that's where I think the problem is, and that's where I've raised a concern with the brigadier in Chatsworth, that the policeman who served Visvan Reddy I can use many words, but he didn't do the job properly. He didn't do his job effectively. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. The documents are defective. The protection order has been lifted. Now, let me tell you the danger of something like that this policeman did and how dangerous that is. Right? Let's say it's a husband and wife issue, ex-husband, ex-wife issue. The ex-husband is harassing, hitting the ex-wife. So the ex-wife takes a protection order out on the husband, stops him from interfering with her, coming near her for a month or so, and then they come to court to argue the matter, to make it final. And then the court finds out that the policeman who went and issued this order, or the Visvan's case, the document is flawed, doesn't have the order, the return of service is flawed, doesn't have the right information, the magistrate then lifts the order, lifts it. So as she did with Visvin, Vumi, remember it's same protection. There's no such thing as you hitting someone different as being cyber bullied or cyber harassed. That's where the problem is, where they see it as different, where the magistrate sort of saw it as different. She uplifted Visvin's protection order. So if somebody goes in terms of violence, hitting his ex-wife, she removes the protection order. That means the husband is now free to go and do whatever he wants to do, as Visvin is free to do whatever he wants and say whatever he wants about me. Free, free. What happens if that husband goes out and hammers her again, abuses her again? What if he kills her? Then who will take responsibility? Would it be the police officer who didn't do his job properly, couldn't serve an order properly, couldn't see that the things were attached, couldn't do a return of service? Or would it be the magistrate who so willingly removed a protection order? A protection order is there for a reason, and the protection order was granted in the first place. All she needed to do was extend it to the next period. But she chose not to. She obviously saw that there's no real danger to me or to anyone, and she uplifts the order. That is the nature of things. That is what has happened. In the meantime, I have raised a concern with the Brigadier of Chatswood, and I will be reporting that magistrate for her callous. I must say it's callous. Look, I've also come to know in terms of all of these proceedings that everybody, from the prosecutor to the magistrate, they are all accountable. All their decisions can be reviewed. It's not the be-all and end-all. For example, I'll talk about this on another day. The senior public prosecutor has declined to prosecute 2 of my cases, or that's what she said about 3 weeks back, until I went and sat with her. Then she decided to review the cases. Even if she declines to prosecute, let's say I take a case about somebody, she declines to prosecute, I can take that up with the DPP, Director of Public Prosecution. So when I take it up with the DPP, she'll have to give reasons, valid reasons, as to why she declined to prosecute. If you decline to prosecute, that means there might be less evidence or not enough evidence. It's a frivolous case. It doesn't. But I'm saying, even a magistrate, when a magistrate rules, I got to know recently that there are inspectors of magistrates and a magistrate in charge of all the magistrates. So every decision they make can be reviewed. There is the Magistrates Commission, right? There's right, says Sanjay Singh. That is the Magistrates Commission. So, yeah, there's all the things I'm busy with. It's just paperwork, and writing and putting things in perspective. But it needs to be done. For now, it's taking away all my energy and all of that. But needs to be done. And, yeah. With that, it's now 2 minutes after the hour of 1 o'clock. It's 30 minutes all said and done. And, yeah, maybe we'll hook up tonight. Gives me a chance to, where's my, yeah, I will be, coming to the end. We are there we go. The end. Right, we'll hook up tonight. Thanks for listening. Most of you were listening quite attentively. We will hook up, tonight. Watch my TikTok, get onto my TikTok platform and my WhatsApp group, 073-767-5836. Catch you at 8 o'clock tonight. I think I should make it for 8 o'clock. I'm sure I will. Let's see how it goes. We didn't discuss the ANC, the third wave, all of that. Maybe tonight. The ANC is self-destructing. Ace Makashule and Ramaphosa. Things are happening. Until 8:30 tonight, or 8 o'clock tonight, or 2000 hours, or 8 p.m., whichever suits you. Eugene, you call us on the back end. See you later. Keep it mother. Bye.